to the Enterprise World YouTube channel. Today, we are excited to interview Sim Moore, a highly accomplished legal professional with an impressive academic background in psychology and law. Sim holds a Juris Doctor with honors and has earned numerous academic distinctions, including a full PhD scholarship in law, a perfect 4.0 GPA in his Doctor of Legal Science, and multiple first-in-class awards. As the founder of Sim & Co. Legal Services, he is dedicated to offering affordable and tailored legal advices to his clients. Notably, Sim has also been a two-time finalist for the Family Law Peacemaker of the Year at the prestigious Dispute Resolution Centre, Australia's Peacemaker Awards, and was recognized as one of the most trusted legal consultants to watch by APAC Business Headlines in 2022. We are thrilled to have him with us today. Welcome, Sim.
Hello.
Hello. So it's an honor talking with you today. And my first question to you is what inspired you to start your firm, and also what has been the biggest challenge to leading it to where it is today?
The inspiration for starting the firm was to provide the best possible legal services that we could. In terms of my inspiration, I have to also say that my family is my inspiration in terms of commencing the business and trying to develop it or developing it. In relation to the biggest challenge that we faced, it was when a case called Donoghue versus the Commissioner of Taxation occurred, in which numerous allegations were made by a judicial officer, namely a Mr. John Logan, or His Honour John Logan. That was done in the absence of me, and he made numerous damning allegations from the bench and actually breached procedural fairness in doing so. The result of that was that there were numerous publications, including in newspapers, where completely false allegations were reproduced and asserted by newspapers. As a matter of fact, there were even articles published or provided to the Parliament of Australia in relation to it, and members of the Law Council of Australia actually made comment without in any way, shape, or form actually noting that the judgment itself noted that we weren't before the court, or I wasn't before the court at the time at which the allegations were made. It's concerning to me, and this was one of the biggest challenges. It was very concerning to me that at no time did some of the best lawyers in Australia, it would appear, actually note that there'd been a significant breach of procedural fairness by His Honour Justice Logan before numerous publications were made. But at the end of the day, I've worked with some very good lawyers, but at the same time, there are those who have attempted to capitalise, in want of a better term, on the articles which were published.
That's excellent. Sim, as a leader, what is your leadership philosophy? And also, how do you ensure that it is reflected within the firm?
My philosophy would be, if you have a job to do, you've got to do it well. To quote Paul McCartney, actually. But anyway, that would be my philosophy. Yeah.
Okay, that's well said. So, as law is a very challenging industry, I like to know that how do you balance the need to innovate and take risks with the need to maintain stability as well as profitability within the firm?
Good question. How do I keep people I work with motivated? I encourage them to achieve the same standard that I expect of myself.
Okay, that's a great answer. So, if you could just give us an overview about the firm and what are the type of services that you provide.
At the moment, our main practice area is family law. However, we'll be expanding in the near future into consultancy, including in relation to geopolitical risk. On top of that, in relation to emerging technologies, we'll be looking for partnerships to establish some programs, which I've been contemplating for quite some time now, because I certainly think that technology is going to play a significant role in terms of law moving forward. There are already some firms that are using, quite a few firms that are using AI-based systems. As to whether or not I think those systems are yet effective, from what I've seen, no. I think, however, that there is definitely going to be some role to be played by automated systems in law. Of course, some firms have been using them or aspects of automation for years. Whether or not you could consider that automation to be the same as what seems to be emerging with AI, I don't think that you actually can. So in terms of moving forward, one of the things we'll be looking for is partnerships to develop those systems which are already in contemplation.
That's amazing. If you could describe a recent successful, case that you've handled, or any sort of business expansion that you've had, and what factors contributed to that success?
I can't name the parties, of course. I would say, however, that we did have a recent case, and I think the approach which was adopted, which was well considered and very much centred upon the relevant cases, led to the appropriate conclusion in that case.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, we'll touch a little bit upon the future. If you could just brief us about your 5-year plan or short-term and long-term goals with your company, your firm.
Short-term and long-term goals. Okay. In the short term, we'll be seeking to form those partnerships or ventures which are going to see development of the technology in particular that I already have conceived and basically waiting to be developed. In terms of the services that we provide in family law, we'll continue to try and provide high quality service to our clients. Of course, we're not a charity, so that does come into play, at least to some extent. In terms of long-term goals, I think moving into those areas which we previously discussed, including risk analysis, geopolitical risk, and also developing those programs is something that I'm deeply interested in doing and will certainly be aiming to do in the very near future. Obviously, though, I imagine there'd be some lead-in time, so to speak, which is going to accompany the development of the systems that I presently have envisaged.
That sounds promising. So, as someone who has a demonstrated career in law, what is that one piece of advice that you like to give to budding lawyers, or just anybody like leaders and entrepreneurs in the field, any field?
Become an investment banker.
Okay, and why do you say so? That's so.
It's just my advice.
Okay. So, is that your piece of advice?
That's my advice.
Okay, that's really interesting and very debatable as well. So, Sim, I've covered most of the questions from my end, and I think some of the questions are irrelevant. So that's the reason this brings us to the end. But is there anything that you'd like to add about your firm or about your journey? You could just let us know.
No, other than to say that it's been an interesting journey. At the end of the day, it's certainly been an interesting experience being subject to what was really an egregious and injustice insofar as I've said, some significant false allegations were made and at the highest level, namely by a justice of the Federal Court of Australia. And furthermore, the fact of the matter is that having to overcome that in circumstances where we had some of the, some very reputable lawyers not even noticing that there'd been a significant lack of procedural fairness. It's certainly been an interesting journey, to put it mildly. But at the end of the day, I enjoy practicing law very much. And at the end of the day, like I've said, I've encountered some excellent lawyers, and we'll just wait and see how things go, I suppose. But it certainly was a challenge, but it's a challenge which we've managed to overcome.
That's commendable, and congratulations on coming so far in your journey. So, Sim, I'd just like to thank you for your time and efforts to answer the questions, and also I want to wish you all the best for your future endeavors.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.